Good morning, everyone. Divine Duchess here with another installment of Self Love, a personal journey. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. That would be awesome. This morning, because it's 7:18 in the morning today, and my heart just went into a time about my kids. I have two beautiful, beautiful daughters, and it has always been important for me to lead by example, to try my best to live my life in a way where my daughters have something to look at, to feel from, to understand a perspective of life, of a woman, of a mother, of a business owner. As a woman and as a mother, we wear a lot of hats. Not only the hats that we wear in our household, in our families, in our friend groups, at work, in business, in life in general. As a woman, we carry and wear a lot of hats that we have to switch in and out throughout the day, which is amazing. God has made us amazing creatures. But the reason why I'm bringing up my kids is I was thinking back to a time when I remember my oldest, her dad had tried to take her away from me. He took me to court to get custody of her from me, and that was one of the biggest fights in my life. Not even thus far, but one of many, because I've been through a couple of battles. But when it comes to my kids, that was one of several. But the reason he felt that he needed to take her away from me is because she refused to interact with him. She refused to talk to him. And this went on for like weeks. I don't even know, maybe 2 months or so. And every time he would call, and of course this time she was small. She's like 20, going to be 27 in a couple of months. This was when she was how old was she? She had to have been maybe 6 or 7 years old. And she refused to talk to him. Every time he would call, she would be like, no, I don't want to talk to him. And I'd be telling him, like, listen, I don't know what you did to your daughter. I don't know what's going on. She doesn't want to talk to you. And as it went on, it got to a point where he really thought that I was the one that was like, you're stopping me from talking to my daughter and seeing my daughter. One, I never stopped you from seeing your daughter. Two, you have, she's 7. And at that time, she ain't getting no cell phone. It's different. These times of days is different. But back then she wasn't, it wasn't something that she needed. So it got to a point where he called and I said to him, listen, she doesn't want to talk to you. Put her on the phone. Of course he's frustrated. I understand. Put her on the phone. So I was like, okay, listen, I'm going to put her on the speaker. I'm going to put it on speaker. And, and I'm like, sweetheart, your dad is on the phone. He want to talk to you. And she was on this no. And I'm like, talk to your father. Like, your father's on the phone. Talk to him. And she just refused. And this is coming from her mouth. Now, I understand his perspective. I'm already in it. and we have a child here. From his perspective, he probably believed that I was saying something to her to prevent him from having a relationship with her or talking to him. But it was never like that. I've always been a true believer of, if we're not together, whether we are together, whether we're married or we're still dating and we have kids, and if we're at a point where we're not dating, but we're co-parenting, I'm a firm believer on the relationship that you build with your child is your responsibility. It is not the responsibility of the other parent. It is not the responsibility of anybody else. Whatever your child experience of you should be coming from you. I made it a very strict rule for myself and for my children and where I raised them, that I don't want to speak ill will about your father. That is not my job. My feelings towards him, towards how our relationship is going or not going, is truly none of your business. How I personally feel about him, whether it is, especially if it's not good feelings, especially if I know this dude is a complete dish rag, he's a complete asshole, he's whatever the reason is, whatever the situation is, that is not for me to share with a child. That is not something that I need to share, period. When it comes down to it, when it comes to the end of the day, you are the responsible one to build I'm here building my relationship with my child. And it's important for you to build your relationship with your child as far as the other parent. So I wind up getting police to my door. I wind up getting served with papers to go to court for custody battle. So now I'm battling a man who is not being responsible enough to handle his own as a responsible parent, to build a relationship with her. I have nothing to, you have that. He felt that I should have forced her. I'm not going to force her to have a relationship with you, especially if you're not in the capacity or you're not even reciprocating that love and attention. And he wasn't. He was in and out, back and forth. He was he was not connecting with her on a level where she felt like she wanted to deal with him. And that is a natural experience. Like, at the end, if she was an adult, that would have been, that is right. If a person is not treating you the way that you want to be treated, and you're not feeling loved and respected, whatever it is that you're feeling, then yes, you should step away. But coming from a child and that mentality, it is not going, an adult that is not seeing, most people are not going to see it that way. They're going to see it as somebody is pushing a child to not be with them. And for me, he should have known that wasn't. And I know that there are women out there that do this. I know that there are some real baby mamas and baby daddies out here that's on that bullshit. You understand? I know that shit is not, it's a nasty, nasty thing, some things that go on with between two couples and their parenting kids, and they nasty, and it's horrible because it tints any pureness in the relationship. So anyway, he winds up taking me to court. He had a lawyer and everything, and I'm sitting there by myself, but no lawyer, because I didn't feel like I needed one, because I knew that there was no way in the world you was walking out of this courtroom with my child come hell. I don't know how it was going to happen, but I knew God was like, he can't walk out of here with no type of custody. By the time I walked out, by the time we went to court, we were in court for, I want to say 3 days back and forth. By the time I turned around, the judge was like, listen, Mr. So-and-so, her mother will retain and will have full and total custody of her. You will now be paying all of her medical bills. You have to do X, Y, and Z. All of these things that he wasn't even doing before, but being that you dragged me to court, now you have all of this now. You know what I'm saying? And she going home with me now and forever. So the fact that you went as far as to try to take her from me before you decide that you want to fix it and figure out what is going on between my daughter and I, and why does she feel this way, before you figured it out, before you look at yourself, before you decide that, maybe that I'm coming at this in a different perspective. She's a child, yes, but children have feelings, and I think as adults, as we get to forget that these kids have common sense, and some of them, they really know, they're aware. And instead of him looking at himself, he decided to attack me and strip me from my child because of his own ego and his own pain and frustration with himself and with me and with our daughter, that his only retaliation was to try to take her from me, to make me feel away, try to hurt me. Listen, my kids, don't fuck with my kids. Don't do that. And any mother, any woman with her kids that love her kids, you're not going to mess with my kids. So I say all of this to say, be mindful of how you move with your relationship, if you have kids, with, you co-parenting. Keep your opinions about her or him to yourself. Move by example of how you would want your children. Like, I want my kids to know me and who I am. My kids will have to get to know the other parent on their own. Just cultivate a peaceful environment, communication, so that everyone involved can figure out the best solution for everyone, because the kids need a foundation that's peaceful and safe. Now she's 26 years old. Now I can talk shit about him. Now I can talk shit about him. Now I can be like, yo, your father did this, and he said this, and X, Y. Now she's 25. She has fully grown into a woman. She has fully experienced her father on her own. She has fully understand. If I'm talking to her, she's like, yes, daddy does do that. She has an understanding of her own, not what I've put in front of her or what I've said about him. Now I can have these conversations because she's old enough. She's an adult. She can comprehend these things. She can not take it to heart and think that that's how the world works or that's how it is. But, she has the ability to understand the difference now. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for allowing her the space to grow in her relationship with her father after all this time. And he and I are cool. He don't fuck with me. For me, it was cool. He understands. Don't mess with my daughter. Don't mess with her, because I will take you out. But just lead by example. Love yourself. The more you love yourself, the more you pour into yourself, the more you heal yourself and you build yourself up, your children around you, even they will see the difference. They will even feel the difference, and they will want to grow too, and they'll feel confident with themselves. And they will want to do things and want to express themselves just because they see that you are fulfilled and you're happy and you're doing your thing and you're working on yourself because you want your children to know themselves too. You want them to love themselves too. You want them to be able to pour into themselves and acknowledge themselves for who they are. It's always about going back to self. So, yeah. Anyway, that was my story. That was just on my mind. And I was talking to a friend of mine the other day because he was going through some nonsense with his baby mamas. And I get it. Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out with me this far. It's been 15 minutes. I'm going to let you guys go. I'll talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye.